Hello, in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to combine two images in one using a layer mask. So if we go back to the final composition image that I created and the edited architecture photograph, and what I did was use the layer mask and combine them. Okay, so I'll show you how to do that. So first thing is open up Photoshop. You need to open up your building photograph first. Double click on that to make it into a layer, and then you need to go to File. Now I've got Place here, but yours, your computer will probably say Place Embedded. So click on that, find your composition image and place. Okay. Now if it's a bit smaller or a bit bigger, hold down the Shift button and then expand, drag one of the corner boxes until both of the width are the same, and then click on the tick. Okay. Now what you want to do now is just go to opacity and then just bring that down so we can just see the image underneath showing through. Okay. Right. What we need to do now is make this bottom photograph a lot smaller, because obviously it's got to fit inside that little star. So I need to click on that layer. We need to go to the rectangle marquee tool. If it's not there, if it's a circle or a line, one of these, just make sure you click on that. Okay, and draw a box around it and edit, transform and scale. Now holding the Shift key down and your cursor here, little arrow will turn into a little sort of double-headed arrow, and finger on the Shift button and reduce down. Okay. And then click off of it, finger off the Shift button and then move it into position. So I mean, it's difficult to, I know you've, even though we've done opacity, it's still not easy to see. What you do need to do though is make sure, can you see that like that part of the star there isn't included within the image, so that your image has got to be bigger than the star, so it doesn't leave any part of it out. So again, finger back on the Shift, expand it a bit, and then you've just got to select the bit and the kind of composition that you think is going to work. So I'm going to just make it a bit bigger again, because that gives me more options. It's up to you whether you want the sky. Actually, that might work quite well. I might just move it up a bit. Okay, I think I'll leave it there. And then tick to apply. And then to get rid of these, they're called marching ants, this little line going around, you press Command and D, and that will go away. Okay. Then what you do is you go back onto your top layer and bring your opacity back to 100. Okay, and then you want to get rid of all this extra bits around here, so go to your cropping tool, and if you want to, because it's a square, you can just put in, go back to there, I'm meant to put in 10. We'll do it. 10. And there we go. You need to click from one of the corner boxes the rest of it disappear off, and then you're just dealing with your image again. So now we need to bring your photograph in, okay, to the star. So first of all, let's click back onto the drag tool. Right, and also, can you see it didn't quite pick up? There's a little bit of the kind of underneath box. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of the numbers. Okay. No, I'm not. I'm going to undo that. Okay, I am going to bring that in like a little bit. Yeah. Okay. Go back to the drag tool. That's fine. So you can't see any of the image underneath. That's it. Everything's cropped really nicely. Okay, so staying on this top layer, we're going to do a quick selection. Now, if you want to, you can go in on your magnifying glass, that little symbol there, so you can see what you're doing a lot more clearly. And you've got this little symbol here. Click on the arrow there, and it'll either give you quick selection tool or magic wand. So we'll be fine with the quick selection tool. And what we want to do is just select the star. Okay. So actually, before that, we'll do the layer mask first, and then we'll select. That's a better way of doing it. So, see the bottom of your layers palette. You've got this symbol here, which is a grey circle in a white rectangle. Click on that, and then a little white frame will appear. Okay. Click inside it, and then when you go to your two boxes over here, make sure that if there's a black box on top. Now, if it's like that, if the black box is on the bottom, the white box is on the top, just click this arrow here, and that will swap it. Okay. And if there's nothing at all, if there's no black box here, then say it's red or a colour, then just click on it, and then you can select your black from here. Okay. Right, so we are then going to go to the quick selection tool, and then very, very carefully, because you might not be able to do this all in one go, so I'm going to do this part of the star first and this bit after. So just wait for the... Okay. And I'm just going to increase my brush. I'm doing that by pressing on the brackets. So on your on the QWERTY part of the keyboard, so you've got UIOP. Well, it is on my keyboard. It might be different for your keyboard, but you will have right-hand brackets and left-hand brackets, and they're actually the shortcuts for making your brushes bigger or smaller. The other option is obviously, go to your brush up here, here, and then you can increase or decrease the size there. Okay, and then what you're going to do is brush, it's a bit too big. Okay, and then just paint in. Now, if it's not coming through, if it's coming through really faint, it might be that the opacity is way, way down. Can you see? So if you start to brush through and you go, oh, it's not coming through at all. It's not very bright. You can't work out why that is. Well, make sure you check your opacity. If you want it to come through at exactly the same density as the photograph in the first place, you can then move that opacity up to 100. And what it'll do, it'll only bring through the bit that's been selected. So whatever's in that kind of the box of what I call it marching ants, those little moving lines, whatever's inside there will come through. So Command and the D to get rid of those marching ants, and then back onto the quick selection tool, and then we'll do this side. Okay. And then back to your brush. There's your opacity at 100. Okay. And Command and D to get rid of it. And then when I was doing this earlier, I found that I really didn't like the grey. I didn't think it was the grey triangle. I didn't think it was strong enough, and I really regret doing this kind of rectangle inside it now anyway, because I don't really like that. What I sort of decided to do is just to kind of change that colour really quickly. So at this point, you've done your layer mask. That's absolutely fine. You can go to layer. You can flatten the image. So now that's one image. Double click to make it a layer. And now you could try and do a quick selection. You see, it's not all that good, and then it won't. See how it's kind of the grey merges in here. The quick selection tool just sometimes just isn't accurate enough. So what I'm going to decide to do here, and just do Command and D, is now then you'll have a lasso tool, and it probably will look like that. But if you click on the little arrow there and go for the polygon, okay, and I think what I might do is just go in a bit. So I want to see exactly where the point of the triangle is. So I go to my polygon lasso, I click, see that little black arrow, I click to start, and I drag it to this side, and I click, and click again at that point. And then I'm going to, I'm not going to go for black, but I might go for a darker grey. So click on here, go for maybe something like that. Okay. And then I'm going to go to my paint bucket. Now, if you can't find it, it may be the gradient tool is there instead. Okay, so it's in the same box as the gradient tool. So you click on the little arrow underneath, get your paint bucket and add that in. So let's do Command and D. I'm not happy actually with, can you see? It's like a very thick black outline here, and then we lose it here. So what I might do is let's try that again. And this time I'm going to, well, first of all I'm going to make really sure. I might just extend it down here a bit as well. And then all the way on the outside here. And then I can see that I need a darker grey. So I'm going to go all the way down here, I think. Maybe even darker than that. And then back to my paint bucket. Okay, and then Command and D final time. Back onto my, now then, Once you go onto your magnifying glass, you can see there's a plus and a minus. So you can press the minus button. Okay, the other way is you can right click and just say fit on the screen. Okay. And that's it. That's how, by using a layer mask, you can combine, you know, two different images together, and then kind of brush through one image to show through the top layer. And that's it. That's the end of the tutorial.